Morning guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Now we are starting off in the workshop today, however I do promise we will finish up this video out on the trails. Now I'm going to be fitting something to my bike that I have never fitted to a bike before, and I've never used one of these before, but as you can probably tell from the title of the video, today I'm going to be fitting my brand new coil shock. So here we are guys, this is my brand new Cane Creek Inline Coil shock. I've never had, like I said earlier, I've never had one of these before. I mean, this thing is just, well, I think you'll agree, a thing of beauty. It's Cane Creek's inline one, so it doesn't have the piggyback or anything like that. It has lots of adjustment on it, and even has the climb switch here, which you don't get on very many coil shocks. One of the reasons why I went for this one specifically. So just to give you guys a little bit of background as to why I've ended up with a coil shock. A couple of reasons really. First one is I'm just curious. I've always ridden air shocks on my full suspension bikes. I ride with a couple of guys who run coil shocks all year round, and they absolutely swear by them. They absolutely love them. And if you go on Google looking up at sort of Santa Cruz Bronson that I have, a lot of people have also converted to a coil shock. So I wanted to just see what that was like. The other reason is I wanted a little bit more adjustability when it came to stuff like rebound, compression on my rear shock. Now don't get me wrong, the RockShox Monarch that I'm running at the minute is really nice. It's one of the nicer shocks I've actually ridden for a long time. However, it does just have open trail and locked out essentially. So there isn't really much adjustment that you can do apart from the rebound. And what I found that I wanted to start, adjusting it for the type of riding, that I'm going to be doing that day, whether it's trail centers or, out in the peaks hitting bigger stuff that might need different settings. So that's where this comes in. This Cane Creek comes in really nicely because it does have high speed, low speed compression and high speed and low speed rebounds. So I've kind of gone from 0 to 100 when it comes to customization and settings. I'm sure it'll take me a little bit of time to work out how it's all set up. However, it does also have a climb switch, so I am able to still kind of lock out the bike a little bit, or at least stiffen everything up, so that when I am climbing up those mountains out in the Peak District, then it's not going to be so detrimental that I'm just bobbing around all the time. Now, one thing I do have to do is a massive shout out to a company called TF Tunes. Now, if you've not heard of them before, they are wizards when it comes to bike suspension. And I must have been on the phone for a good 30 to 40 minutes just talking about coil suspension. They are so good. The lady that I spoke to basically took down details like the bike I was riding, the type of riding that I actually do, my rider weight, so including stuff like backpacks that you would have on if you go out, like we do out to the Peak District, etc. And she sort of took all of those details down and suggested the best shock. I obviously mentioned that I was already looking at this Cane Creek one, and we kind of went through that and we went through all the details. So really nice. If you're after suspension upgrades, suspension servicing, any advice, give them a shout. They are absolutely brilliant, and nothing was too much trouble for them. I did phone them back asking a couple of things. Like I said, I've never had a coil shock before, so I am in uncharted territory, so I just want to make sure that I've got everything right. But enough talking from me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fit this coil shock, and we're actually going to go off to the local trails, get it dialed in, and see what it's like to ride. Now, how good does that look? I think that now looks like a completely different beast. So I think one thing we'll have to do now is go out and test it. Okay, so as promised, I'm out in the woods. I'm out at the local trails, and we do have the lovely Cane Creek shock on. So what I'm going to do is I've left it as is. TF Tuned have set this up for me based on what I mentioned earlier, my rider weight, etc., riding style. So I'm going to leave it as they've set it up for now, as I've not much clue what I'm doing. I've come to my local trails so that I know the trails, and I'm going to do a couple of sessions, get used to the shock, work out if there's anything that I need to change, and yeah, just have fun. So let's hit the first trail. Alright, first run of the first time riding a coil shock. Oh, trails are running nicely, nice and dry. Oh, right, shock feels good so far. Oh yes, nice and playful. Oh, a bit dusty. Nice. This feels lovely. That might be a bit much. Oh yes. Ooh. That was very nice. I want to do that again. Oh, bit of a zealous on the corner. Oh, this is dry. Oh, these are lovely. So much more planted through that section. That's amazing. This is nice, this. Oh. Oh. Again. Initial first impressions, I like, very much so. This climb switch works remarkably well. Alright, let's see how it fares in one of my favourite tracks. Love this track. Oh yes, it's rolling nicely. Oh yes, oh, that's the best I've ever done that, right? Oh dear, bit sketchy, a bit too cocky on that one. See it's not pretty slide. Oh wow. I am impressed. I'm very impressed. I'm absolutely buzzing after that ride, and it feels like a new bike. Now it's nice because it's not changed the bike so much that it feels completely alien. It does still feel like how my Santa Cruz Bronson should feel like, certainly to me. The coil shock is exactly what everyone has tried to explain to me, whether over the phone or in person, that it just soaks up those bumps a little bit more and just gives you that a little bit more traction at the on the back end, and it just feels so supple. It's really nice. Now obviously, as you've seen from the video, I've done a couple of runs just getting used to it, testing it out. I've not changed any of the suspension settings or anything like that. I don't think I'm going to for a while. I think it's set up really nicely so far, and I'm just going to go and enjoy it, and yeah, I'm really pleased with it. So I think it'll be staying on the bike for quite some time. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, as much as I've been excited by the new upgrade on my bike, then please give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to support the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys, bye.